has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
How about this, Carver High? We got Coach Young here now styling with us. I did spend some quality time with him today in a local village. What was that town called again?
Oh, we were in Lincroft. Charlie's of Lincroft. A little boozy restaurant. Ferrall paid too, folks. Very nice.
Wow. How about that?
Listen, this guy is an alcoholic. He was drinking at lunch. It is unbelievable to me, scaring me with the amount of alcohol intake. And then he ate a po' boy.
Well,
he had a shrimp sandwich, this guy.
Oh, yeah. Like Bubba Gump. It was
It was Bubba Gump. And I think we offended people there because I started talking loud.
Yeah, we were very angry. Very angry.
We were very, very angry talking about players in the draft. All right, I have to ask you, your guy Tyler Smith is still available from the G League, and you and I both know he's a badass. Filipowski's still available. Are you buying all these people complaining that he should have gone in the first round? Because I'm not surprised he didn't go in the first round. I got to be honest with you.
Well, the problem you have with Flip is even at 6'11", he's not that bruising, banging big, right? He's more of a finesse, step out big, shoot the three, play him at that pinch post, high post area. So it's not shocking that he kind of fell a little bit. So when you look at the draft, listen, teams are going to draft based off of need, right? They're not going to go best available. So if you go best available, Flip's the first round pick. But you start going down the board, like the Knicks would have took him, but the Knicks are trying to save salary. So they punted, and he took some French guy no one's ever heard of before, and they got picked. So to me,
traded the other pick.
Traded the other pick, right? Exactly, Carvine. So to me, Flip will get picked early, round 2. I would say perfect spot for him, number 31, first pick, second round to Toronto.
But what the Knicks did was, I think, smart in that they got a bunch of second round picks that they don't have to worry about giant contracts with the bondage that they're in now after the Anunoby deal and having the players that they had to pay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The
ones
that
Bridges
they don't
now. They got to pay Bridges too.
Yep.
But they, this big money, like they're about to give Murray $209 million in Denver for 4 years. So the Anunoby deal is enormous. So by making a move for the 19-year-old French kid, and everybody in New York hates it. They booed. They don't like it because they're all idiots anyway, and they have no idea what they're trying to do here. This is a kid that's not going to play for a while in the NBA. They're going to store him in France, right? And then the rest of the picks are second rounders that they don't have to pay. They don't have to guarantee those deals.
Well, here's the thing. The Knicks shaved about $3 million that he didn't have to pay by punting on those picks. So then you take a look at, they want to re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein. They can't even give him the 4 for 72 because they're about to be hard capped. There's even talk now they may have to trade Deuce because they have to shed a little bit more salary if they want to bring Hartenstein back. Think about this. If you look at the Knicks starting 5 and 2 of their top bench guys, that's the same amount of money as the big 3 in Phoenix. So to me, Leon Rose has gotten guys on somewhat friendly contracts, guys, that allows them to move forward. I don't think the Knicks are done. I think they're going to try and bring Hartenstein back. They're going to try and address
But do you have your doubts that they can do it?
I have my doubts because someone could just throw $20 million a year at it.
That's the thing, Coach. Like, the gap is so large, right? This isn't like an Anunoby thing. I think it was easy for Anunoby because it's like 212, 220. He's like, for $8 million, let me go play for the better team. When you start talking $30 million difference, be like, hey, I can go lose for $30 million. Like, that's a little bit more of a substantial gap.
What would you do?
I'd take the $30 million.
That's right. What would you do?
I would absolutely take the $30 million. And to me, here's the thing, folks. If Nick Claxton's getting 4 for 100, Hartenstein's worth at least that. I mean, right around the same figure. So right then and there's $7 million a year more. There's $28 million. There's $30 million.
And he's a way meaner big than Claxton.
Yeah, of course.
Claxton's a good player, but he's a toothpick. Hartenstein is a violent big.
Yeah, absolutely. And he fits perfectly. So now there's a couple things the Knicks can do. Do they try and trade Mitchell Robinson to shed some salary to try and find a way to bring Hartenstein back?
Yes.
I would love to because Mitch is never healthy. I think Hartenstein goes. Maybe the Knicks try to draft someone early in the second round. Maybe the kid Adam Bona out of UCLA. Try to get yourself a backup big just to give you minutes here and there. They have to do something because it's definitely going to be, I think, Hartenstein leaving.
The Knicks do have the 8th pick here in the second round, which is the 38th overall. They are getting started now, so I'll let you guys know if anybody comes through here.
So it's underway.
Toronto, of course, will lead off the second round. They have the 31st pick. There you see it right there. Knicks at 38, Jazz, Bucks, Blazers, and Spurs will all get going here in relatively short order, Coach. And like you were saying, still some pretty decent names left. And as far as Filipowski goes, somebody's got to sit, in the room all night and not get picked, right? Yeah. I saw him and the girlfriend leaving last night. And somebody's got to sit in the green room all night.
Who was the one that was miserable?
Filipowski didn't get picked.
Oh,
so he was in the.
He may kick someone on the way out. Kick someone on the way out of there.
Now, do you go back today, Coach? If you didn't get picked last night? Oh, they're not even doing it now. Now this is the first time they've done this. Right. Are they having another crowd out there?
I'll go hang out at Chick-fil-A across the street from the Barclays Center. Give me a bite to eat. There's a couple of waters. He's not a Chick-fil-A guy. I'm a Chick-fil-A guy.
Don't get this started. I heard all about this. Don't start this again, or else I'll take the both of you to the burger joint down the block. That's it. We're not getting on that.
Do you think he's just spoiled because he played at Duke? Like they're all stuck up, and he thought he should go in the first round, so now he's crying to his mommy?
Well, he was, I think, 21st on my overall big board. So listen, someone always slides. Isaiah Collier slid. You can look at Bazelis. He slid. Furphy slid. It's still sliding. Dalton Knecht, he slid. By the way, Dalton Knecht to the Lakers. We don't talk about a team that just stepped in good luck. Like here's a team that can't shoot the ball. The three of us could win a shooting contest with half of the Lakers roster. I'm being dead honest. And they go and get the best shooter in the draft, in my opinion, Dalton Knecht. Shoot it from deep. Pull-up game. Off screens. Space the floor.
So who do you think the best shooters are? Knecht, Shepard, and then the best scorer. I think the best scorer is Shannon in college basketball.
Here's the thing. The two best scorers both went to Minnesota.
I know.
Yeah.
Because with Dillingham and Shannon Jr., Carter Hyde,
Coach, we were talking about this before. When you're at a Spurs and you need so much, why are you giving up the 8th overall pick for a pick 6 years from now? What is the thought process there?
Pop done lost his marbles a little bit. I thought they had it lined up. I see. If I was San Antonio, I would have went connected at 8, and I would have went Castle Knecht. There's my backcourt. Move Devin Vassell to the 3. Go 3-guard lineup and put Wemby at the 4. Done.
So why didn't they?
Because they're the Spurs, and Pop sometimes thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. But I'll tell you this: that second unit for Minnesota with Dillingham and Shannon Jr., slow-mo Kyle Anderson, and Naz Reid, good luck. And then at the end of the game, you can go with those 2 guards and Ant in a 3-guard lineup. Who's stopping those 3 guys one-on-one?
I think the only thing that could stop them is those 2 galoofs they got in the middle. They
got to get one of those guys out of there.
I
don't know who won, but
Crybaby, Cat, and then Cat the Crybaby, and then, of course, Meow, and then Rudy Slow Bear. Your boy Rudy, who not only was he not the defensive player of the year, Wembanyama was, and you know it.
Oh,
I don't even want to hear it. I think Gobert's awful.
Yeah.
I think he's awful.
I think one thing to look at it with Minnesota is I do think Rudy can sign an extension. Like, what do you do? At what point you gotta move one of them? And by the way, speaking of Rudy Gobert, shout out to Sar. He was like, okay, Quinn Snyder, how did you use Rudy Gobert when you were in Utah? Oh, you don't use him at all? Okay, I'll go to the Wizards rather than play in Atlanta.
Really what just happened there, Coach? He said, I ain't going to play for you, and that's why Atlanta backed off him?
I think that's part of it. You're going to go to Washington? They're more dysfunctional than the Hawks.
What does he think? He's going to get more burned?
They had a good draft.
They had a good draft.
Last night, Washington had a good
draft. They had a great draft. I like Sar. He's going to be ready to play defensively right away.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
11-12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
So, Coach, I want to get your reaction to some of these plays, like the Khalil Ware deal with the Heat.
Honestly, Khalil Ware, obviously you know this being Indiana guy, a guy you worry about his motor and his effectiveness. And then he goes to Miami and you're like, this is going to work. This is going to be perfect because he's going to act up. Here comes Jimmy. Here comes Bam. Knock it off. We're pros here. And I like this pick because – listen, he's a shot blocker. He's a rebounder. Kind of remind you a little bit of a Miles Turner high-end side, right?
7-footer.
7-footer. And then what you do is now you can play Bam at the 4. And Bam is skilled enough to shoot the ball well enough just inside the three-point line where it's an effective play. I like Miami. Listen, anytime Miami's one of those teams that kind of like Sam Presti in Oklahoma City. When they make a pick, it doesn't matter where they are on your draft board. You're like, okay, that makes sense. I think this makes sense. It's be good for Miami.
Go ahead, Mike.
You really liked, you were telling me yesterday, this De Silva from Colorado, and I felt like he came down a little bit too far, and Orlando got him at 18.
Yeah, I love De Silva because of his game. He's really smart. If you think about like a Kyle Anderson, he's a Kyle Anderson on steroids with a better shot, right? Kyle Anderson, position versatility, can do a lot of things. Sneaky good passer. You play for your boy Tad, so you know he's got to be able to play defense, right? So I think it's good. The thing that I felt so bad about Orlando, because if there was a team that needed Dalton to kick more than the Lakers, it's the Magic. Yeah. I mean, they really can't shoot.
They wouldn't have to spend all that money on Clay they're about to.
I know.
They would have got him. They wouldn't have to spend all that money on Clay they're about to drop.
It makes sense. Speaking of that, like, when you look at Dalton Connect, what were the Sixers doing with Jared McKee?
Yeah.
Like, there's another small guard. Yeah. Like, I didn't get it. I thought you slide Connect with Maxey, who has the ability to dribble and create off the bounce. Then you obviously have JoJo, who commands so much attention. I thought Connect was so perfect for Philadelphia that I thought, oh, they're going to take him. And then all of a sudden he doesn't go there and ends up with the Lakers.
What did you think of the Celtics getting another shooter in Shireman?
Oh, jeez. I mean,
can you believe he's another guy? He can pour it in.
Listen.
He's like Hauser.
Listen, the Boston Caucasian community, stand up. You got Hauser, Pritchard and Shireman leading the second. That's like Jerry Seasting, Danny Ainge, and Chris Ford. Put them on the second unit. Listen,
I mean, honestly.
and there's a team that can shoot better than anybody in the league, and then you go and get one of the best shooters in the draft, and Baylor Shireman.
Can you imagine that they just won the championship and then they get their
Oh,
hands
it
on this kid?
made me sick to my stomach.
I mean, honestly.
Oh, it's the Celtics. And you know what, folks? It's so easy as a Knicks fan to just hate Boston now again, because now they're young and they got all these guys, and you think that here comes the run. Listen, some people thought, like Kevin Walsh always said, maybe you take Filipowski. Well, it's okay. Al Horford's going to play until he's 245 years old. So go ahead, take Shireman. He just strengthens that second unit in another shooter.
So now they're saying that I'm seeing these stories that Filipowski struggled in the pre-draft interviews and in the, frankly, in the combine, that he just didn't do well in either.
Well, the problem, like I said about Flip, is Flip.
Nice of him to release that just now before the draft.
Before the
round
round two, right?
Yeah, I think here's
That
the
just
thing.
came out a minute ago.
Here's the thing about Flip. Flip is a tweener. Flip is someone that's probably not physical enough to be a 5, not quick enough to be a 4. But sometimes guys just fit. I think Flip is Kelly Olynyk. He's going to have a good career, not a great career. He'll have some big scoring games, but he's not going to be the guy that really
I hope he
moves
doesn't
the
get his
needle.
hairdo.
For me, he's just another guy that should have spent another year at college. That's what he is for me.
Well, I think
there's a lot of guys in this draft.
Yes, Mike, and I think what you have also is, the thing is, the 25 draft led by Cooper Flagg is loaded.
Yeah.
So it's almost like go now and get out of Dodge
Dylan Harper,
before
Ace
Dylan Harper,
Bailey.
Ace Bailey. I'm thinking of this. Rutgers may have 2 of the top 5 picks in the draft. I'm still.
How sick is that?
I still don't understand.
I still can't believe that they're going to play there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Rockets gonna be rocking. It would be like getting tickets to see Caitlin Clark at Iowa. It's gonna be pretty expensive to go there. Bro, you got connections there, Rutgers. You can get us tickets.
I mean, I think I could get into. I think I could get in there.
Raptors are on the clock. There's a minute left here for their pick. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
who
see
the
that they're
Raptors
underway.
take.
Buzelis in Chicago. He's from there.
Yeah, from outside of Chicago, Buzelis. Listen, this is the guy that does a lot of things well, right? He doesn't do anything great. He fits in what's going to do in Chicago because Chicago needs to blow it up. Plain and simple. DeMar DeRozan, there's a contract dispute already. He's probably going to go on. Trade Zach LaVine. They're talking about finally getting rid of Vucevic. The worst thing you could do in the NBA is be a middling team, right? A team that's like in like the play-in or, right outside of it. That's why I love what the Nets did. You know what the Nets did? Listen, we're not going to be good enough. Let's just blow the whole thing up and start over. Hopefully Chicago does the same thing. Giddy Kitty, Buzelis.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how Buzelis does there. I thought the Denver pick of Dunn was a good one. He's a good defender, and obviously they were one and done with that chip. And do you think defense was their problem?
Yeah, Phoenix needs a defender. So Dunn was a really good pick. And then obviously Denver getting Holmes, the kid out of Dayton. I liked him. I thought that if the Knicks stayed there, I thought the Knicks maybe were looking at Deron Holmes. So that's why I think Denver went and jumped over them to go.
Jonathan Mogbo at 31 for the Toronto Raptors. Jonathan Mogbo.
Mogbo is intriguing. Now, to me, when you're a team like Toronto, does Filipowski, does he make you that much
for
better?
The Dons.
Yeah,
Boy,
they paid for the
Mogbo.
Don. So I think when you look at this is when you're Toronto and you're this far bad, might as well go take a swing at more of a home run than trying hitting a single like Filipowski. That fits. So it'll be interesting to see what comes up the next couple picks. I'm looking.
You're right about what teams need because he's nowhere near the top of that best available.
No, he's not nowhere near the best available, but he's intriguing.
He's a big.
He's intriguing. I also want to see what happens. I think a couple of picks. I think it's Milwaukee. I wonder if a guy like Furphy could be the guy there. They need defenders and they need shooters desperately around Dame and Giannis.
So the Jazz are next, then Milwaukee, then Portland, then the Spurs, Pacers, T-Wolves, and Knicks you had mentioned at 8. So those are the next several picks. Number 2, Jazz up next. So we're underway in round 2. Strangely enough, that they'd started at 4 Eastern on a Thursday. We're excited to be at the SportsGrid studios in Ferrall with the coach.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
And 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so back on Ferrall Coast to Coast from the network studios at SportsGrid in Philadelphia with the coach and, of course, Carver High. I'm Ferrall. So Filipowski went to the Jazz with the second pick in the second round, so he can finally get that weight off his shoulders. He's going to go play for the Mormons in Salt Lake.
There's nothing like waiting all night not to get picked. End up to go to Utah. I mean, what a night the Filipowskis probably had.
He didn't go back either, Coach.
No,
I just saw the list of players that hung around to go in the green room, and his name wasn't on.
No,
so
he's nowhere. He's nowhere near it. But
let's come back.
I think that's frankly, I think that's weak. I think it's immature, and I think it's weak. And I think that when you come to Brooklyn to get drafted, you have to realize you think you're hot Shaq until you find out you're not. I think anyone that's in Brooklyn for the 2 rounds should go to both rounds. It's that simple. Grow up. You're going pro. You're going to be selected on the second day. You should act like it's an honor to be drafted in the NBA, not blow it off and go home because you don't like it. I think it made him look weak, and I'm right.
Well, hey, listen, he's going to go to Utah, and at the end of the day, Danny Ainge seems to always seem to get it right. So he'll go to Utah. He kind of reminds me of Kelly Olynyk, who they had last year. They traded, obviously, to Toronto. So it kind of makes sense. But the Mogbo guy from San Francisco is so intriguing because he's got such intriguing versatility, right? He's kind of short. Right, but he kind of plays bully ball. He can play make. He's a really good defender. He can rebound the ball. Obviously, averaging a double a game last year. I know in the WCC, but still, San Francisco is still a pretty good team in the WCC. So it's a good pickup for Toronto.
The Dons. Wait, no, time out. I got 5 left. I have to say, does it not bother you that this guy gets the picks before us?
What do you mean?
I'm jealous. I'm jealous. Just stay out of this.
I got the picks. I'm getting the picks.
You get them early too.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
You guys with your Woj and Shams and all your early picks. I'm over here retro. I just find out when it happens. And you guys are getting everything early. You should see these guys, just so the audience knows. They're announcing the picks before anyone else gets them. These 2 guys right here that I'm sitting with.
We're trying to just keep
unbelievable.
We're here for the people. We're here for the people.
Cheating.
Hey, listen. In the age of ChatGPT,
go back to the beach
of course. I'll probably go. I would go back, but I got to go home with Kate up at 6 o'clock.
Honestly, now when I saw you today, did I not look comfortable in flip flops and
Oh
shorts?
yeah,
and
yeah. You look ready to go.
styling,
I should have took you over to Tommy's over in Seabright by
now
the
my
beach.
onions are getting crushed.
Yeah.
I'm tied up like a dog.
Well, how about this? Next year we'll talk to Cardano. We'll go to Donovan's Beach Club, Donovan's over there in Seabright on the beach, and we'll do round 2 from the beach.
We should do I think we should do everything in the summer from the beach.
Set up a whole studio there. Just build one in right there.
I mean, honestly,
have a little cooling.
I got to ask Carver, what do you think about what the Knicks did with getting Bridges? Like your thoughts. We talked about it, but I never got your take. Did you think that's too much that they gave up to get him?
I don't think that it makes them the second choice to win the NBA title.
I don't think
that up on the board.
No, I agree with you.
I don't think that.
I think they're the second best team in the East.
I think they're better.
I think in the West you got to look at Minnesota. You got to look at
they were
Denver.
the second best team in the East without him.
If healthy, yes, because I still can't trust Milwaukee in a big spot. And then you got to see what Philadelphia's going to do.
I put a bocce jinx on Damian Lillard.
I think that the Villanova thing was cool with Hart and Brunson and with DiVincenzo. I feel like we're pushing it a little too far.
Oh no!
I feel like we're pushing it a little too far.
Listen, when they sign,
he's a better player than those guys.
When they sign Kyle Lowry next, that is going to be too much. There's 5 of them.
That guy is unbelievable for his age. He can really hit big shots, but at the end of the day, at some level, to me, he is shot.
I think the biggest thing is, and I said this to you yesterday, Coach. I think the biggest thing for them is that they didn't have to give up Randall to get another star player. And still having him gives them options, whether that's sticking with Randall and he's going to be another scorer out there who you got to potentially double, or you're not doubling Randall now and he's going to be able to fill it up. Or you use Randall to get somebody else.
I think
he's too talented and big to not double and not be worried about on the floor. I think what it does is having Bridges and having Randall, you had mentioned before, like Deuce and white boy Rick Hartenstein become expendable. They have to move budget now to figure this all out, and Randall's certainly not the guy they're getting rid of. They're not getting rid of Julius Randle. No way.
Rory Mack, it's going to be remembered. It will be a lasting image from the 2024 United States Open, just like Bryson DeChambeau's 55-yard bunker shot.
We love big-time winners. Like, you win a championship, we want to hear from you. You get the stage. Sometimes it's emotional. It's a great watch. We know we also love the losers who said, you know what, I just can't believe I folded down the stretch. Let me face the music here. You sort of get a new light there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You know, this guy is the mad scientist. I mean, he's all about green density. So in my mind, I feel like he's going to have the green speeds dialed in, and the angles he needs to land them and all that sort of stuff. I feel like he's going to be a good spot and playing the course well. And he's going to be hitting less club into a lot of these par threes too. So I just, we're talking about using a live guy. I love Bryson this week. I'm riding with Bryson.
Only on SportsGrid.
This new sports integrity partnership, Genius Sports, is involved in this. More protection.
They said that's going to allow them to beef up their protection and add more integrity monitoring tools to essentially catch bad behavior before it happens. This comes, obviously, after a just ton of scandals we've had across sports betting lately, whether it's the MLB umpire, Pat Hoberg.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Do you believe that Bobrovsky's minus 420 number right now using the FanDuel Sportsbook is an appropriate pricing?
I look at how strong Bobrovsky's been able to be, and he's been stealing these games. And when we look across the board for the rest of the Florida Panthers, there's not that standout player out there. So you got to remember, this is a voted on award.
Game time decisions. only on SportsGrid. The brighter the lights, the bigger the stakes. Hunt or be hunted. Know your prey. This is a whole new jungle. This is The Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM.
So I'm always stoked to talk about the Euro and Copa and the summer of soccer bash going on with BetMGM. Euro 24 kickoff. How about 50% soccer boost pack for you? Get a 50% boost for 3 different bets, an odds boost, a parlay boost, and a live odds boost. They're going to be available through the first round matches of the Euros. Odds boost and live odds boost must be a minimum of 300 odds or higher. Parlay boost needs to be at least 3 legs, 3+ legs, and a 400 plus odds or higher. 33% odds boost will be available throughout the Copa and Euros as well. Go to the BetMGM app on iOS or Android. You're going to love it. Sign up. You're good to go. Or go to BetMGM.com for full details and terms and conditions. You're going to love it, though. The summer of soccer at BetMGM. And I got to tell you, Carver High, just real quick, that I think the soccer has been phenomenal.
It's been unbelievable.
It really
to be
is.
quite honest with you. I thought that those closing matches of the Euro, not of the group stage, where there was a lot on the line in all of those games.
The Italian kick for the goal.
That was incredible. Some crazy finishes in all of the games.
Did you see Turkey and Czechia fighting?
Yeah, they don't like each other.
No.
They don't like each other at all. And then we set ourselves up for this knockout stage, which, because you had so many weird things go on, there's some openings here for some of these teams, and we'll go through it a little bit deeper later.
And that starts Saturday.
Saturday knockout round. Italy, Switzerland on Saturday, which is a big game.
Switzerland's tough.
Switzerland's the type of team that they really grind you. You know, they don't give up.
I heard a lot of people said that Italy will lose to the first good team they play in the knockout, and that's this team.
That's this team. They're very good, and if they are able to get through, they play the winner of the England game. And so you could get Italy-England in the second round.
I want to see Switzerland beat them.
Switzerland could beat them. Because, you see, the thing with Switzerland is they score on you,
then they clamp down.
They are going to lock it up. They will lock it up big time, and they are very tough to break, especially once
All
they
right,
get
so what do you got for me baseball-wise?
I am going to give you some baseball-wise here because it is the Lion's Share brought to you by BetMGM. And we have taters today. You want to know why taters have been hot? How good have the taters been recently?
Oh, God.
Did you like that Vinny P on Monday
Vinny
night?
P Monday night. And we hit another one that night, too,
well,
Devers.
It's 3. Devers, Vinny P, and Riley all hit on Monday night.
Oh, God.
Now, last night was a little quiet, but we're going to get it back cooking here tonight. Here's where we'll start as far as the tater time goes. We'll go to Gunnar Henderson. He homered last night. He's been on fire. I love the price at plus 400 that we're getting here. He has a homer in his career off of John Gray, who's going for the Rangers tonight. You're in a park where homers do fly out. We will go with Gunnar to kick things off.
I love
at
it.
Plus 4.
Let's go.
Next, this is a favorite of ours always on C2C with Tater Time, and that is a little Schwarbaum with the Marlins in town in Philadelphia. Let's go with it. Schwarbaum is going to go plus 340. Pretty good price for him. Trevor Rogers is going. I understand it's a lefty, but Schwarber does hit him, so I'm not as scared. Plus 340 for a Schwarbaum tonight.
Love it.
Next, now, chalk. There's a reason. The only time you take chalk, Scotty, is when guys are just so incredibly hot that you might as well just ride the wave. I actually thought this would be would be a little bit less. I thought it'd be under 2 bills, but plus 225 for Judge tonight against Berrios, who he has hit a bunch in his career. Plus 225 for Judge. Even though the Yankees aren't winning, Scotty, he's still destroying the ball.
Teeing off.
He has been teeing off. He is 12 for 29. That's 414 with 4 homers in his career against Berrios.
Well, and then last night he hit number 30 in the loss to the Mets at Citi Field. But he, with Babe Ruth, the fastest to 30 before July ever.
And now he's right on pace to try to do this again, right? The 63, 62, 63.
Yeah.
And that was with an awful April. Did nothing in April.
Now he's hitting one every night.
Even when they lose, he is. So
you know what's amazing, Mike, about him is that while he's at 30, they're still knobbing Ohtani more on the media side, and he's got 25. So when he hits one, the Earth stops on its axis, and then they do stories about Ohtani all day. And when Judge hits one, they just mention that he hits one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his was historic, and they talk about the home runs that they're hitting and how big they are, how long they are. I mean, Judge's are every bit the bombs that Ohtani's are.
Yeah.
And he's got 5 more than Ohtani.
It is amazing the run that he's on right now, and that is why, despite a cheap price, I'm going to still continue to ride because it's hitting. It's hitting every night.
Were you embarrassed by the games at Citi Field? He hit a grand slam the night before.
Hit a grand slam.
Otherwise, they would have lost 9-3.
And they got him a little closer, 9-7, and then he hit the homer last night, and then the Mets pulled away further. I got to tell you, I'm not as – you know how I feel about this team. I don't believe.
Are they going to play at the Bronx, too, these days?
In a couple of weeks, I guess they do, yeah. Usually,
they return the favor.
Return the favor. You hope. Because, you know, what's lost is the Mets are actually
They're
playing
for real
now. They're playing some pretty good baseball now.
I think the leader of that charge has been Lindor.
Alvarez
and
as well.
J.D. Martinez.
Francisco Alvarez has been pretty good, too.
He hit one out last night.
So they've gotten some contributions from some guys, and they've pitched a little bit better.
I actually watched the game on, that network I hate. And
the best booth in baseball.
It is the best booth. I got to tell you.
The best booth in baseball.
No, legitimately, I really
Kay
love.
was mad about that.
Who is?
Michael Kay was mad about that they were calling themselves the best booth in baseball. He didn't like that.
I mean, let's face facts. They are. And the reality is that there's no one like Keith Hernandez and Ron Darling as analysts in baseball. I think that O'Neill is pretty good and relatively humorous. But I do not think that he's better by any stretch than either one of those Mets announcers.
Well,
and you know it. And neither is Girardi. I told you I like the way Girardi talks about pitchers and how he handles them, relievers and starters, and innings and pitches and counts and all this, and what to throw, etc. But I'll tell you another one. Like Cone is better than both of them. Yeah. And then they don't use him enough because now he's on ESPN a lot.
Well, that's the problem. You see, if it was Kay, O'Neill, and Cone all the time, you could say it. But there's like 15 different guys that go in the Yes booth, and that makes it a little bit difficult.
And then aren't they doing the radio thing as like a different guy every night now?
Yeah, that's a whole nother ball of wax that we're talking about there. Let me give you the rest of these here.
All right, taters.
Nolan Arenado tonight, Cards and the Reds in St. Louis. Do you know what he's done against Andrew Abbott? House 4 for 7 with a homer. That's 571 plus 425 for Arenado tonight to get things cooking there. Next, we'll go to Salvi Perez, Scotty, actually. We're going to get Salvi Perez.
You know, he hit one out the same night as
Vinny P.
As Vinny P. Yeah. And not only did he hit one out, but you said you could go with Salvi P. or Vinny P. tonight, and either one of them will hit one, and they both did.
I'm glad you remembered that because
I remember everything.
Ben Lively on the mound for Cleveland tonight. We will go with Salvi. And final one, I usually like to throw you kind of an out there little dart throw.
Low-hanging fruit.
A little out there dart throw, and this is going to be in the late game in Anaheim. Joe Adell at plus 675 against Flaherty for the Tigers. He pops them all. All he does is home run or strike out, this guy Adell. But he's got a few this year. He's facing a righty at home. We're going to try to catch him tonight at plus 675.
Like, at that price, if it hits, man, we will just be clanking the bell.
Bonus ball on the Lions share today. Look at this.
Whoa.
Pulisic to score for USA tonight at plus 138. Bonus ball on the Lions.
Doesn't he, score in every game he scored against Bolivia?
3 minutes in, he scored in that game.
Give me a Pulisic for $1.38.
So
I'm all for it.
Against Panama tonight.
Taters
there you go.
And a little soccer, delicioso.
Unbelievable. The Lions share brought to you by BetMGM.
I love it. He's betting on the Copa Farella on top of the taters.
Gotta have it.
The Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM.
This new sports integrity partnership, Genius Sports, is involved in this. More protection.
They said that's going to allow them to beef up their protection and add more integrity monitoring tools to essentially catch bad behavior before it happens. This comes, obviously, after a just ton of scandals we've had across sports betting lately, whether it's the MLB umpire, Pat Hoberg.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
You know, this guy is the mad scientist. I mean, he's all about green density. So in my mind, I feel like he's going to have the green speeds dialed in, and the angles needs to land them and all that sort of stuff. I feel like he's going to be a good spot and playing the course well. And he's going to be hitting less club into a lot of these par threes too. So I just, we're talking about using a live guy. I love Bryson this week. I'm riding with Bryson.
Only on SportsGrid.
He went bogey and double, par, birdie, bogey. Thomas Dietrich's all over the place here today.
This golf course is so volatile where it can make you look like a fool in just a matter of minutes. And, you look at a guy like Thomas Dietrich. He's right there tied for the lead or whatever it was, and now he's like 4 or 5 over in the wink of an eye.
In-game live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
11 and 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High, what are the updates now in the second round that we have?
All right, so here's the stuff that's gone on since we last talked about it before the Lion's Share. So Tyler Smith from the G League Ignite went to the Bucks with the 33rd pick.
Right.
Next, Portland had the 34th. They trade that to the Knicks, Scotty. So the Knicks take Tyler Kolek. So the Blazers
They're going to love him.
So Kolek goes to the Knicks.
They are going to love him.
And going back to Portland is, I believe, 3 second-round picks going in return.
So much for all those second-round picks.
Right.
They had 5 or 6 of them. Now they got 3 of them gone.
Right. They move up and get Kolek here. The Pacers and the Spurs swapped 35 and 36. So the Pacers will get Johnny Furpey from Kansas, Scotty. So he goes to Indiana. And Juan Nunez goes to San Antonio then. So 35 and 36, those two swap each other.
The kid Nunez, a really clean point guard from Spain. They, we called him Ricky Rubio. He's got that kind of game. They're going to love him in San Antonio for sure. And look, Furphy will fit in perfect at Indiana because it's a lot like Lawrence, Kansas, in the middle of nowhere. And I mean it. And I know, trust me, I went to Indiana. And I think the Knicks fans are absolutely going to adore Kolek. He's an incredible high-energy guy, great point guard, can do it all, never picks up his dribble, can dribble, drive, and dish with the best of them. I thought he was the best pure point in college basketball last year.
And he's a guy that, everybody wanted to get him last night at those 2 picks that they had in the first round that people want. We're talking Kolek at 24 and 25, and they were picking the middle. So they end up, moving back, paying less, right? Which is what we were talking about with Coach. Going to cost a lot less and not guaranteed to be a second-round pick. And you get the guy that many people thought you could have got there to begin with.
I mean, look at his numbers. The way he shoots, incredible. Do you remember in the tournament when he would go underneath the basket and around the basket, and then he would end up in the paint and turn around and score from He looked like he was going to take the ball back to the top of the key, but he'd spin back around and hit a floater in the lane. He has got all kinds of creativity in his bag of tricks for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely got a lot. Minnesota is now trading 37 to Detroit. So Minnesota had the next pick, Scotty. That is now going to go to the Pistons. And it looks like it's going to be Bobby Klintman is going to be the selection there. Bobby Klintman there.
Yeah, Bobby Klintman. A lot of people know Bobby Klintman.
Wait.
No one's ever heard of him. He's from Sweden, and no one's ever seen him play, so I don't want to hear it. This is another one of these guys. Everybody's a genius starts telling me about Bobby Klintman, and they're lying through their teeth. They've never even seen a highlight of him. I've seen more Swedish hockey players and skiers.
Bobby Klintman.
Bobby Klintman. Honestly.
Well,
more guys from my run in the morning have been on camera.
Hold on. So wait a second. So I'm trying to stay up with this here. So the Knicks kept 38 in that deal, Moff, or they're going to trade out of it? Okay, so they didn't. I thought they were moving up from the 38. The Knicks did not give up that 38 in the Kolek deal. Those were future seconds, Scotty, that they moved in to 34 to get Kolek. But now I'm being told they are still moving out of the 38.
Oh, so they're going to trade it either way.
Yes, the Knicks are going to trade the 38. So we've got to keep up with everything that's happening.
So, and now Minnesota's up. Do you know who they're taking already?
No, Minnie was the Bobby pick.
Oh, he was the Bobby.
Yeah, that's the Bobby pick, which they are trading, of course, which we just mentioned. So there's a lot happening. We are going to try to stay on top of all of it here with the NBA draft. Lots of trades, lots of movement. But that's what I was talking to you about the other day, or it might even been Coach, when we kept throwing that Bronny thing around with the 54.5.
Oh, here we go.
And the Lakers having that 55th pick. These second-round picks, I mean, they get thrown around like confetti. There's a very good chance that the Lakers could acquire the 49th pick or the 51st pick or move if they feel like somebody else might take them. So I always thought that under 54.5 was going to be.
So I think the key to all that is that KW would get him on the 6 o'clock special on SportsGrid tonight so that I don't have to sit here and deal with his ass. Not KW's ass, but Bronny's ass. I'm sick of talking about him for 2 months with his hack-ass game, his hack-ass college game, his hack-ass 4 points a game. I scored 4 points the other day, and I was putting my shoes on. Before I started playing, I had 4 points. I play in a run second to none, and I was literally putting my knee brace on, and I already had 10 points. And this kid scored 4 in college, and he played the whole game. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about him. Like, I hope his mother gets pregnant so she has another kid, so that we can talk about him. I want to talk about his other brother who's better than him anyway.
I have news for you, though.
Oh, no.
The way that they're moving.
Oh, God.
I'd say the chances are strong.
So
that
KW is
could
mad
come
at
up
me.
Towards the end of the KW.
KW is mad at me, but the deal is that I like LeBron as much as he does. We've had this conversation
as much as
5 million times.
As much might be a lot.
No, listen,
He's
I love
the biggest
this kid.
LeBron fan
I've
in
been
the world.
alive longer than this kid since his mother had him in her womb. But I've watched LeBron since high school. I love his game, but his kid isn't that good. He just isn't that good. That's all there is to it. His kid's a hack.
Well,
he's a hack. And he's got a bad ticker like me, this kid. He's already had a heart attack. Christ almighty, what is he, 18?
So that 38...
Jesus Christ, what do you think he'll be like when he's 59? They'll probably put they got a cow's heart in my heart. What are they going to give him? Like a robot?
So this 38th pick that the Knicks had is going to go to OKC. They now hold this 38th pick. So the Knicks are out of 38. Of course, they moved into 34 to get Kolek. And they will now see who the Thunder are going to get with that.
Is the guy's name really Bobby?
Jai Mitchell, it looks like.
What was the Swedish kid's name, Bobby?
Yes, Bobby.
How drunk was his mother and father?
Bobby
that day?
Klintman, which actually goes to Detroit. Minnesota picked him.
What were they? Were they on mushrooms
Bobby.
the day they named him?
Oh,
Bobby.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
And 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
So this Jai Mitchell kid from the Gauchos is the guy that the Knicks are giving up to the Thunder, is what you're telling me? Now, he's a guy that he never shot tons of threes at UC Santa Barbara, but he definitely was one of the, if not the best player in the Big West or whatever. He's an attacker and a scorer. He can slash and cut and finish. He wasn't much of a guy that shot a ton of threes in college, where you see all these guys nowadays, everything's predicated on their outside shooting and hitting threes, and the league has become such a three league. But I got to tell you, I love a guy, Brunson, gets to his spots. And, he can still hit a three, but he can get to his spot from 15, 18 feet from an elbow or a wing and hit that shot. I love guys that can drag, step, go, and get to their space and shoot and knock it down. Like, I was playing in a game the other day, and everybody's used to seeing me in the deep corner pocket pulling up and shooting from there. I got the guy off the ground. I took 4 steps in to about 20 feet and knock down all net on the baseline is way better than just guys chucking threes all the time. And this guy didn't chuck tons of threes.
He didn't chuck tons of threes, but anybody that played for the Gauchos is fine with me. I love the Gauchos.
Yeah, my son was going to go there. There's massive parties and drugs at that school. Let's just get real.
As I was trying to say to you, these second-round picks, it can get super confusing with how they get moved around. So the Thunder picked at 38. Here's how they got there. They traded Lindy Waters III.
Lindy Ruff?
For 52 to Golden State. Then the Thunder moved from 52 to 40 with Portland. And then OKC moved from 40 to 38 with the Knicks, which means, according to everything I'm reading here, the Knicks now have 40, Scotty. They went from 38 to 40, down 2 slots. So the Knicks are going to be on the clock again in short order here.
Portland was in that spot. Where are they now?
Portland goes to 52, where the Thunder were. Down to 52. Memphis has a pick at 39. That is Jalen Wells. Goes to Memphis at 39. Boy, Jalen.
Jalen Wells went to Memphis.
Correct.
With 39.
And
so now the Knicks are up, and you're telling me the Knicks already got Kolek.
The Knicks have Kolek with that 34th pick.
That is fantastic for them, that they got that little monster. I mean to tell you, you know what he is? He is literally T.J. McConnell with better handle and a shot. And a creative shot maker. Like, that guy never picks up his dribble, can always he's a nasty passer and a playmaker and a scorer. And, in my opinion, I think McConnell, when I watch him play, like, he is amazing, but his shot is ass. His shot is complete ass. Like, when he shoots, like, my daughter shoots better than him. When he shoots, he's got that broke-ass hand-wrist thing going. Have you ever seen him when he shoots? It's the he like, goes like this. It's the worst shot. He may have the worst shot of any guard in the NBA. Literally, the ugliest release of anyone I've ever seen in my life. Kolek doesn't have that problem. Kolek makes shots, and he's creative. Like, he'll roast your ass. He'll spin you around, make you dizzy. You'll think you're drunk playing him defensively in a game with the way he keeps his dribble going. I told you, I used to play with a guy that he's one of the all-time leading scorers here in New York in history. He's held the record for over 25 years. He was 6'2". He's a cop, but he never picked up his dribble. And people be like, this guy's not even big. How's he that good? Because he would never pick up his dribble, and then he never missed a shot. He waited until you made a mistake with your footwork, and then he daggered your ass.
Some of the options for the Knicks here at 40. Let me give you quickly some of the best
Who are they?
on the board. Cameron Christie from Minnesota, Kevin McCullough Jr.
I like Christie's game.
Kevin McCullough Jr. from Kansas, Justin Edwards from Kentucky, Cam Spencer from UConn still there. Jamal Shedd from Houston, Scotty, who's a great defensive player.
Now they don't need a guard. I mean, they got 10 guards on the Knicks.
You need big guys.
They don't need another guard after they got Kolek. What are they going to do? I mean, the entire team is guards.
Yeah, they need some bigs, no doubt about that. So hopefully they can find a few, or they'll probably just deal the picks again, since they've gotten pretty good at doing that lately. And now you'll get KW in here with us for a little while, and we will see if the Bronny James selection happens while KW is with us, Scotty. It's very possible.
He's already got odds that it will.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Rory Mack, it is going to be remembered. It will be a lasting image from the 2024 United States Open, just like Bryson DeChambeau's 55-yard bunker shot.
We love big-time winners. Like, you win a championship, we want to hear from you. You get the stage. Sometimes it's emotional. It's a great watch. We know we also love the losers who said, you know what, I just can't believe I folded down the stretch. Let me face the music here. You sort of get a new light there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.